Jason had said before, it was smothering on map 1. compLexity didn't even have enough room to make an economy. So yes, this is a map where Shazam can stretch out and get that leg room with the op and make some space for his team, but if the economy's not there behind him, then he maybe won't get that to happen. It needs to be a completely different animal for compLexity than was on map 1.
Okay, looking at Renegades right now, they went for that aggression on Cat. Smooya actually with a nice 180 to start it off onto Ye here. Will give Renegades a little bit of a man advantage for the moment. Smooya is actually going to be able to stay alive as well, but Def is able to take down Azza as Leah as well will fall. Sick getting 2 of his own. And just like that, a 3-on-2 in favor of the compLexity side.
And now the utility comes out for compLexity. JKS is ahead of that one. The bomb has been forward lateraled in towards the site. Sick again, mounting up the bodies. He's got 3 kills on the round. It's Jacob, last man standing. And now you got some extra hands on board for compLexity to really make sure that that bomb is safe and secure in that site. I love that take from compLexity. They made sure that their presence is known. Sure, you lost a guy on Catwalk, but you need Catwalk if you want to take A. That takes the player that's on the A site, puts him down on the ramp, so he has to hide from that Catwalk presence. He's exposed.
Exactly, and then compLexity throwing the deep smoke towards spawn. Fairly easy round out of them in that situation. I mean, Sick, those 2 kills that he was able to pull off really cemented the round favor in compLexity's hands. They're able to take it. JKS now getting tagged as he crosses. That's always fun. But it will be Renegades on a little bit of a bye here as we're seeing CZs, Deagles, a Mag 7, as well as a Scout hit the field.
I don't know what your definition of fun is, but mine's definitely not getting tagged crossing mid.
It's always fun having to take damage while you're just trying to get to bomb site.
I just spawned. Let me play the game, please. It looks like Leah as well caught some damage out here as well. The second shot rings out. Azza is able to try and dial in a shot on Catwalk here, but they've escaped his presence. Now they swing out. Lias gets the shot with a Deagle. And the Renegades, this would be such a disaster for compLexity to win round 1 and then get destroyed by a force buy on the second.
Well, Def's actually going to get taken down towards lower B, so we're into a 4-on-2 now with both compLexity members forced in towards this top of A. They're going to have their work cut out for them here as the retake starts to begin from Cat, but there's a smoke grenade that Sick actually can play in front of to give himself a little bit of an advantage until he gets spammed by Smooya, and it's all on Shazam, who is taken down as well. A 3K on the round for Smooya, and just like that, Renegades take it right back into their hands.
Yeah, Smooya had a slow start on Nuke, but now he comes off popping off with the Galil. He ends up getting those 2 kills, one on that little bit of an off angle. Maybe there was a misstep there. Maybe he just overstepped and made some audio cue because it looked like Smooya was right on top.
He committed hard to that.
He knew he was there. Yeah. So there was he either heard it or there was a step made or a call made. Somebody made it.
Maybe he just felt it.
Sometimes you do just feel it. It's that game sense.
It's the midichlorians. It's the midichlorians flowing through him.
That's the reason I'm not global. Is I don't have enough midichlorians.
Oh, okay.
I'm stuck down here on Silver 1.
compLexity now, after that stunning round loss, is Smooya able to get that crazy shot through the smoke. Will find themselves with only pistols, but that's all they need as Stanislaw is able to take down JKS. That's going to be a gun recovered possibly here? Doesn't look like it. Jacob now taking down Sick to even it up in a 4-on-4.
Yep, and he'll throw a grenade up and over the top as well. It does look like it's got a little bit too much pepper out there, but can you get a bomb plant if you're compLexity's side right now? You're starting to lose bodies, and you're expected to lose a couple more as they make their way towards this A site. Stanislaw peers over the ledge right now, and yes, they have secured themselves a bomb plant, but only just. Shazam, 2-1 Deags. He's working his way towards a miracle of a situation. 1v2.
So
Lias
close.
And Jacob, but he's been flanked. And that when you're out there on the elbow, there's nowhere really to hide.
I believed.
You believed.
I believed there, especially that one shot. I really thought that was going to connect. Renegades, though, they will pull off their second round now as compLexity. Well, they got the bomb down. They've dropped quite a few weapons as well. Renegades, very costly round for them to come out of, and compLexity now will be buying up into this. They've got the AWP on Shazam's back. Smooya's got his AWP going on as well. Look for that battle towards middle very early on.
Yep, and this is where I was talking about. compLexity, hopefully on a map like Dust2, this is enough room for Shazam to be able to stretch and make an impact in this one. He was very quiet on the first map of Nuke, but that's not a map that you anticipate an Opper to pop off compared to a map like Dust2.
Yeah, Dust2 a lot more free roaming there in terms of where the op can move to. It's less tight angles. He can create space for himself, and right now it does look like Shazam We won't be finding too much contact against the AWP of Smooya, as Smooya playing this car, leaving these two members towards Cat and Liaz and Azza, as compLexity now have moved their way out those double doors in middle, and are peering on towards that B bomb site.
So the question is, sure, you've been able to push through these double doors, but how long can you stand up here? Nice little pop-up from Shazam as he gets Liaz, and they do get a kill out those mid doors all the way up towards Car.
Huge.
Renegades have now popped off on the A site, but Azza is able to pick off 2. He's shot in the back by Ye. That could have been a redeeming quality for Renegades on this round. You still have a chance, though, but working your way back into the A site is going to be rather difficult when the 3 guns of Ye, Sick, and Stanislaw are still healthy.
Well, now compLexity's actually moved out of the site. They have long control. The bomb's going down within that bomb site, as well as Stanislaw playing in CT spawn. Renegades really hard pressed in this round to make something happen. I could imagine if this round doesn't progress as quickly as they'd like, we could even see a save come out from these players.
Yeah, that would be very appropriate for them.
Ooh, nice kill from JKS.
Even then, I mean, this is still a really tough retake. 2v2, you don't have all the information in the world. You've got 1 kit on Jacob, and he's the one that's making his way forward. This looked like it was really looking like a save situation. But they handed that 1 kill, and now they start to sink their teeth to the A site. Sick is taken down. Can they find the bomb and defuse it?
They couldn't find
the bomb. Okay. Now, I said before, it puts a bad taste in your mouth on Nuke when you win a round with 1 player surviving, but you just won a round with no players surviving. At least you got yourself something there, but that is just not the way you want to win that. They gave the opportunity to Renegades for that 2v3 retake.
Yeah, I mean, Renegades hitting some great shots to make their way into the site. The smoke lands onto the bomb. Unfortunately, Renegades, after taking down the final member, no time as well as not being able to find the bomb, will give compLexity their second round, but what a costly round it was. In fact, compLexity moving into the round after this will be coming into with a UMP, a Galil, and a Scout. Not the best weaponry after you're winning a round.
It's still something. It might be a little bit more than what the Renegades have to offer up. You've got an AWP in there, you got some AUGs, rifles, but the CZ from Liaz is left wanting. And
Liaz has got himself into a good spot. Although he does have the CZ, he's playing tight towards those long doors, Dallas, pretty much ensuring that he can find himself at least 1 kill in this situation.
That's all he needs to do. And it's 1 kill plus some information as well, if he manages it. He's got the first, he's got the second. Unbelievable from Liaz. He did really well. You know, like, he wasn't even dedicated on Nuke to one side or the other. We saw him defending all over the map, showing his capabilities. And now he just shows that I can pop off with the first 2 kills, and what we expected was a 1 and info. Yep. He gets 2 and some intel and a rifle.
Now this is where it gets scary for compLexity. They're heading back towards long here, so they're going to make that initial contact with Liaz, probably try to force the issue and get that trade frag finally on this player within the pit, but Smooya is set up by this car, so all Smooya needs to do is swing towards long here, and he's going to be able to help out Liaz very easily.
Yep, there goes the first couple shots. Liaz is going to throw a flashbang, do whatever he can. He has an HE out here as well to delay. He just needs to stay alive, and you can see this. Smooya has a field day. If anybody crossing the angle, they're staring. Now Smooya spots some ankles crossing through that smoke. He'll dump some utility, and he'll rely on the teammates that he has in Azza and JKS to be able to back him up. But yes, Shazam gets it done with a Scout with 20-some seconds left. You're outnumbered. Now you're in the 2v3.
Yeah, now Jacob's coming in behind them as they move up towards long here, so this will be a pinch from Renegades. Can compLexity clear out this top A site?
Yeah, and here comes screaming Jacob right in from behind. He'll take the first and would have absolutely picked up the second as well if Azza didn't get it. Clock was against compLexity's side, and now compLexity are going to have to bow out to the Renegades. So this is already starting off to be a pretty strong CT side.
Yeah, if you're on CT side of Dust2, I mean, you're pretty much aiming for 6-7 rounds, and at that point, you're pretty comfortable going in towards your T side. So Renegades definitely on a good foot here. A great start towards their CT side half, already at 3 rounds. Only a few more needed till they get to that comfortability factor. compLexity, on the other hand, well, they're going to opt to force buy up, and Shazam is going to hit a great shot onto Smooya, who is picking towards that middle to give compLexity a 5v4 advantage.
That's the second great shot we've seen from Shazam on a Scout as well. Just being able to get in there and find that small melon, and you give your team a chance at winning a round that you almost would anticipate that they don't have any business winning. But this is one of those right and true force buy rounds. We've seen compLexity going into the half buys, but that's when they've been on max loss bonus, so they would end up with rifles in the next anyways. This is a high risk, and right now, looking to pay off really well for compLexity. They need to not be absolutely dumpstered on an entry somewhere, and it's shaping up to be an A-site push over out long, and Liaz has done well out here before. They need need to be able to take Liaz down with only one casualty max.
Liaz only has a FAMAS here, so maybe one kill is what he's going to be able to find. Able to get a second as well here. A good amount of damage, but not able to pick up the frags there. compLexity trying to force that smoke. Are absolutely punished. Quite a bit of damage going onto that Cole side.
Yeah, and Sick and Shazam are wounded out here as well. So it looked like it was shaping up rather well, but is starting to get a little bit flat as they now push Catwalk a little bit themselves. Nice shot from Shazam. Again, Liaz has been tagged in the chest. He'll start to fall back, yielding his position. He's got Azza giving him some help. No Catwalk presence. Well, actually, rather, it's Liaz still doing work on against Catwalk. And they really are just going to lock up this round right now. Def and Shazam. Now Shazam, last man standing with a scout, is going to need to be very, very mobile. Sprinting, keeping his eye on the scope right now, searching for targets. And it is Azza that fills that scope, but it's Azza that takes the last frag. And now compLexity have just dug a little bit deeper into their own grave.
Yeah, compLexity really just saw themselves hit a wall when they try to force that long smoke towards those tunnels. Not only do they lose Ye, but also Sick and Shazam take quite a bit of damage. From that point, they call the audible. They head towards Catwalk area, but at that point, the clock is burning down. Liaz has a good idea of what's going on, so he's going to communicate that to his top A player, Azza, and they're able to just shut down compLexity before they even really make their way out towards that Catwalk or that elbow area.
Sure. Well, just like it was on Nuke, when compLexity started things off on the T side, they have really had a one-trick pony, striking the A site over and over and over again this time, it seems. And they're going to get mowed up and eaten by all these rifles and all this armor. Only able to do a little bit of chip damage, but it's no big deal. But again, we're in the same situation where compLexity need to change something up.
Yep.
Sure, it's Dust2. Sure, the B side is a lot harder to take, but you need to, at least on your eco rounds, give respect to the B site.
Yeah, I could definitely see compLexity picking up the pace, maybe towards B, maybe most likely towards long here, covering that right off the bat, taking that area, taking that fight, and then obviously moving their forces towards Catwalk. But it does look like to begin this round, we are going to see compLexity favoring those B tunnels, sending 3 of their members there, 1 towards outside long, as well as Shazam with that AWP just holding middle.
Yeah, they took those lower tunnels quickly. They ran into that position, but it still looks to be like it's going to be an A hit, I think. The bomb's at top mid right now. They are at least broadcasting themselves to be able to catch any Renegades aggression, which we haven't seen anything of. Renegades have just been holding on to their default positions. Jacob's your most advanced player. He would be over towards the front side of the B tunnels. JKS picks up that first frag right at those double doors. compLexity would be again starting things off on the wrong foot. But yes, a good frag and a retrade right there from Sick.
Six actually made his way out towards these doors. Azza has no idea that Six actually lurking here, so as this smoke fades, Sick might be able to catch him off. And there it is, Sick able to pick it off. B site left to Jacob to defend.
He's tucked himself in behind the car. He's got the first. Looking for the second transfer as well. What a great read from him. The bomb's right behind this one as well. Shazam picks the trade, and it's back to a 2v2, but it's the A team coming across to try and get past Ye right now. Shazam actually just got legged, I believe, crossing the doors, getting to the site. So luckily, he's able to survive that. Now it's a 1v2. All Shazam, all day. He sees a shoulder. He starts to fall back. He pops off that first shot, and he is now behind the big box. Great defensive position from him, especially when you know the players aren't coming in through the tunnels, but that flashbang is just perfect, and it adds more question marks. Have they snuck their way into the site? Are they still behind the doors? But Liaz holds the tighter angle. Wise to it, and they pick up that next one, and it is it's Renegades, again, round after round.
Just when it looks like compLexity is going to have the round in the bag, somebody on Renegades is coming up huge every single time. That individual talent, Dallas, that we've talked about, that Renegades has, that, you know, we see from time and time again, is definitely coming to play here as compLexity. Well, they get absolutely fed by Jacob sitting in that closet area.
Yeah, that was a great hold, and that was a do or die, because if you lose that fight right there, that A team is probably going to save their guns. That would have been a 4v2. You're not looking to retake that situation anyways, but instead Renegades take another round off of them, and compLexity are on just full AKs. And Stanislaw just took a ton of damage at top mid as he crossed over the top of that one, just spammed from the smoke. And the grenades come in and make things even easier for the rifles that are sitting in wait. Smooya up on top of the elbow, falls into the site with some assistance from Azza's flashbang out there as well. compLexity are positioning themselves for another catwalk take, but looking to turn their eyes, leaving one player here possibly. No, everybody's going to abandon and start to look back towards tunnel control.
Yeah, so just a little bit of catwalk pressure being put on towards Renegades, but now we see Smooya actually re-aggress this catwalk area, so he's got all this information that he's feeding to his team, letting them know that there's no contact really being made as the mid-B split comes out from compLexity. Here comes the hole from Renegades.
JKS aggressive through those doors, wanting to take that fight right up front, and he has been absolutely thwarted. Jacob goes down out there as well, and look at Ye sitting, waiting. Nice peek right there for the first and second.
Good shots.
Now there's no chance for Elias. 1v4. No. I mean, you've had yourself a pretty successful CT side so far, but you're not going to win this fight, into the B side especially.
Yeah, making it a little bit more expensive for the compLexity side as he does take down Shazam. But the big point here is that, yeah, Renegades might have 6 rounds on the board. They might look like they're dominating here, but they are losing quite a few members every single round. And that's going to cause them in this situation to kind of save their money. Yeah, they've got plenty of money. You're looking at Liaz at 5.2, Jacob's got 4K, Smooya at 7.1, but no reason in a round like this to actually force the issue. So wisely so, Liaz is going to save that AUG, bring it into next round.
Okay, so compLexity are learning. We've seen them come out through the double doors mid, and they've done that multiple rounds in a row. The resistance has either been on the CT side or it's been up towards the B side, but really nobody has been at that front gate, holding that front gate. And when they have been there, compLexity have gotten that kill to start things off, or at least trade it out.
Yeah, you saw that with Sick.
Yeah, so compLexity right now are starting to use this and abuse that idea of let's take mid control, let's push in there and divide a wedge in between the Renegades defenders.
compLexity actually changing the pace just a little bit, taking it very quickly towards long. We will see a lot of damage being done to Sick, actually. Smooya able to get that leg shot off, but it will be compLexity heading in towards the big pit. I do imagine they'll leave maybe 1-2 members here and send the rest of the squad back towards Catwalk, where we'll see an A split possibly develop.
Yeah, well, no, they actually they thought about
keep all their members here.
Yeah, that crossed their minds. They started to have those 3 players fall back, and I thought it'd be interesting to leave such a powerful player like Shazam in the pit alone to just hold down this long. Now they've got players that are pushing up right to the threshold. Double smoke in, the grenade comes out perfectly so, right at 6 feet. And they're spraying through, trying to pick up a little bit more, but they haven't been able to convert any of that spray too much. So now they're pushed off the site. That mid-control was still there. Ye's able to trade that out, but there's no more lurk for the team. The most disconnected player you have is Shazam, who's playing pit with the AWP. And I'm almost guaranteeing that that bomb is planted for him. It is.
Okay, looking at the retake now from Renegades here. We're going to see the smokes come out. We're going to see the flashbangs. Liaz will be first on scene, possibly even dropping towards CT spawn, but a nice cheeky boost here will get Jacob onto Liaz's head, just peering on towards that site. Not finding anything, though, Dallas.
That smoke was a little bit close, and they couldn't quite see over the top of it. So, yeah, Def has gotten that next kill, and that's going to push the Renegades completely off of the site. An AK and an AWP is going to be saved. I hear the woos coming out. compLexity do absolutely need to start piecing things together. Ooh. Double AWP for them.
Yeah, this is actually really nice for the Renegade side, being able to save that double op situation, especially on a round that they would otherwise be on a full eco, most likely, looking at their money here. So looking at those double ops, JKS, Smooya, you can still send Smooya towards the long, but now you can have JKS towards middle, towards B, getting a little bit more aggressive with that AWP, trying to get those early picks there.
Okay, so compLexity's starting to look like they're coming alive. So Renegades, to start things out on that second round, they went for that force buy.
It's actually
so you're almost into a same situation. There was a Mag 7 in that round out there as well. But if you just lost your first player and your star player out there to boot, that was one of the ops. JKS is down and out, and Stanislaw is going to stand on top of this op, so it can't be recovered and put back into action. Meanwhile, sure, you've gotten 2 kills on the A site. They're pushing in. Jacob with a 1 shot from the Mag 7 and a second as well, looking for the third. That one just high and left. It'll be traded, and it's going to be a 2v2, but still, it's only Smooya standing at this B site. A round scatters off behind him, it sounds like, but it would have just been passing through that smoke. The bomb is in control by Smooya, and you've got an extra flavor out here. Azza is a positional player that's moving up towards the B site, and it leaves Shazam alone. But if anybody can do this, it's him. He crosses to the big box right now.
Sees him.
He has been spotted. There's the angle. Shazam needs a miracle. He's playing lightning fast right now, searching for these CTs, and he's going to worry about how close they could be. First shot and the second! Unreal with his sidearm right now. 1v2 clutch. It was well played by the Renegades to take the double peek immediately, get in there and fight him. But the sidearm, the P250 at that point-blank range, just as good.
Yeah, that was some great shooting from Shazam to pull compLexity out of that troublesome round loss that they were facing there in that situation. compLexity doing all the right things. You see Stanislaw get those 2 picks towards A, but then they forced the smoke towards that B bomb site. And who's waiting for them? Well, Jacob with a Mag 7, able to pick up 2 kills, and then Smooya chimes in with his AWP as well. I really thought that round was going to go to Renegades.
Oh yeah, it could have absolutely done that. It was just a hairbreadth difference.
Smooya gets caught as well.
He does convert on the second one as well. We've seen something like this before where the A site gets wiped out, but the team was positioned to strike B anyways, which they did, and that's what ended up hurting compLexity so badly. Azza takes the first one. That's going to be Ye, and he's got a great position on this smoke as well. He'll be able to see the T's coming in unless they round the corner up on top of the box. Well played by Sick. Great entries from him. 3K on the round so far.
Yeah, and Def lurking towards B now ensures that only Jacob will have the opportunity to save his gun as JKS does fall. We are seeing Stanislaw making his way over towards that B bomb site, possibly going to be able to take down Jacob.
Wow, that lurk that just stopped the gun saves for Renegades was critical there. I mean, Renegades are floating on a really weakened economy. They're limping along, and if they were able to save any kind of rifles, especially with what we see already, Azza's bought a scout into this round. So if there were any rifle save, I would expect the force buy right behind that. But compLexity, having a little bit of struggle early on in this half, have really come alive, and they've actually gone to that greedy mode of let's keep our lurk way out behind and prevent the save.
Yeah, it's a great call. As we move towards the latter part of this first half here, compLexity doing a great job taking those weapons out of Renegade's hands. But I'd really like to commend Sick on that round, who made that great little play to catch off Azza towards the top of A. But it will be Shazam as well as Ye now, clearing out that long A area.
Yeah, I mean, Ye doing exactly what Sick had done in the previous round. Those entries are really good, and that's the round secured, really, at this point. Azza's going to be able to upgrade his scout into an AK. There's a whole plethora of them at his feet. Renegades,
I don't imagine he'll go for it.
Yeah, they can save this. Considering he had bought a scout to start this round off, that's going to help him economically in the following rounds. But his money is just the same as everybody else's on his team. They're in the low 2000s, so holding on to this AK, I think, is the best opportunity.
Yeah, so compLexity will be seeing the lead here for the first time since essentially that pistol round that they won. They will be able to take it 7-6 now as we move towards the end. Only a couple more rounds in this first half to play. Renegades really falling flat as we're nearing the end of this first half.
Yeah, it really is a little bit of a tougher spot for the Renegades right now. Sure, they've got that 6th round, and anything beyond that is a bonus for them. They could really make it a commanding CT side if they could just get one more round. It's just been compLexity have actually worked magic to both ends, both the A and B sites so far.
Okay, looking at Renegades' buy here, well, it's looking like it's going to be mighty fat. They should be able to get everything they want in their pockets. Smooya with that AWP doesn't have a kit, but he's able to get that armor or flashbang as well to help him get out of any sticky situations. And looking at compLexity, well, they've got a strong buy themselves, so a great gun round here. But Shazam is going to eliminate JKS to start this one off.
Man, they threw that smoke was... he could see over the top of it, and as soon as he spotted it, he flicked over to the left and gets that instant frag. And you would think that you would want to snap onto the B site right now, considering you just picked off a B player, but they still go towards A. Liaz wounded the grenade off the backboard and into his lap. Jacob gets 2. It's still a 2v2, as scrappy as it may be. Your CT defenders are split from one another. Azza's going to break his stride, and wisely so, because compLexity, Ye, and Shazam were still in a position to hear him coming from behind. But suddenly the noose gets tighter and tighter, and maybe only needs Smooya instead on the front line.
Yeah, Jacob, a phenomenal round out of him, a 3K, and Liaz actually trying to make his way to the big pit. Actually runs into the nade, essentially. If he held his positioning, but he had to make it towards the big pit. He was in no man's land, so moving towards the big pit, like you said, off the backboard, catches him right in that back pocket. But nonetheless, off of phenomenal play from Jacob as well as Smooya, well, we're going to see Renegades now tie this one up.
Yeah, you see Jacob, he gets 2 kills and he's traded out right there. But that was really the saving grace, because that looked like compLexity after getting the opening pick and exerting a lot of force in the A site looked good. So here they come into mid. Nice shots from JKS. And suddenly compLexity thinking, man, we've done really well in the mid doors. Let's continue to fight. Suddenly the ops are in your face. A double op setup for the Renegades at point blank ranges absolutely spears compLexity, leaving them in a 2v5.
Now the compLexity players looking like they're going to split up just a tad here as Stanislaus made his way towards Catwalk. Shazam still hanging out around middle, and he might actually get caught by Azza, who's actually made his way around towards the back of Cat, and there it is. He doesn't know where Stanislaus is, however, so this could give Stanislaus a bit of an advantage towards A site. But just like that, JKS is going to be able to take him down, and 8-7 scoreline is what we're going to see. Renegades end up with that half victory.
Yeah, it looked like they had been a little bit flatlined right there towards the middle part of that half, and complexity had woken up, but Renegades absolutely get the punctuation mark on that half, having already gotten a 6, and then they got a 7-8 to end it out. It's just it's a really good first half from Renegades.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be happy moving into the second half now. Complexity, I mean, not a bad half for them either. They can still make it happen on their CT side. Anything is possible really at this point for both sides. But you guys out there, you're going to have to stay tuned. We'll be back momentarily with the second half of Dust2, Renegades versus Complexity. You're watching ESL Pro League.
I'll show you how it's done. There's no sides, we go inside. The man, he is the one. You build your walls to faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all defy the burden to be born. We're coming home with a mission to bring an end to a terrible land. We are here to your mission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission to tear you down from your undeserved throne. We can take your conviction. We are many of one. You may call it a virus, but we call it the antidote. It's an answer to silence. The future is here to revolt. Go!
Hey, ladies and gents, welcome back as we recap this second map, the first half, Complexity versus Renegades. That ADR that's showing up, you can see it's Shazam versus Smooya, the two ops that are popping off. We said the op's going to have a much more impactful situation than it was on Nuke, and that is shaping up that way.
Yeah, we're not seeing as much of a staggered scoreline as we saw on Nuke there. And that's just a testament towards this half, 8-7 half, both sides really showing up towards this. Def is having a little bit of a slow first half, only being able to pull off 4 frags, but as we move into the second half, everything's redeemed.
CT aggression on the pistol round, Complexity running headlong into mid, and they're winning it hands down. Take the fight to them. We're not going to wait on any site. They just sprinted at him, ran up top mid, all 5 players. They abandoned defense on either site and said, we will fight for top mid.
The only time I remember that call being made is when you're winning 14-0, and you're like, all right, everybody just rush up middle. Let's try and make something happen there. But compLexity are going to use it at an 8-7 scoreline, and they're going to come out on top, absolutely demolishing the Renegades front line there.
What do you think, Stanislaw? What was his thoughts on that pistol round strategy? I mean, that
exactly
is really
what I just said.
Really a flip a coin situation. It
Hey guys,
really
let's
is.
push up mid. One person watch that spot and take the fight with that guy. Everybody else fly up middle, and they're going to find themselves profiting.
Yeah, it works out just fine in important rounds too, because Renegades had won the first half and they had done it on that CT side as well. So now they're the easier side on the T end of things. So compLexity really do need to get every round they possibly can to make this a competitive match. Because sure, it's 8-8, but the Renegades really have the onus to be able to finish and close out this second map.
Looking at it right now, Renegades will be favoring that B bomb site, looking like a little bit of a mid to B split here, maybe even a fake, as it will be only Azza towards that middle area. It's going to be Jakem going to reunite with his teammates towards that upper B and B site. It's going to be pressured ever so much.
Yay, point blank on the smoke with an MP9. Oh, he's going to chew him up. Oh, one passed him, right? Yeah, they did. It hasn't been spotted. Ye actually gets taken down. JKS with a 1D out there as well. Ye did not see that a T had actually snuck by.
Oh, Stanislaw, though.
Stanislaw does get JKS, so the bomb is going to be dropped and delayed, allowing compLexity to rotate in, and you can see they're surrounding this B site. Jakem has himself a rifle, but he's going to disarm himself by planting the bomb. Only Smooya watching over his shoulder, and in fact, they will not take the fight straight up. They delay, and they don't even come in at the same time with one another. Jakem virtually 1v3,
Winnable.
1v1 right now. Swings out, but it's the MP9 that picks up that last kill. And if we thought about how that played out compared to the first half, compLexity won the pistol round. Renegades went for a force buy, just as they did again, and Renegades, though, won that on the first half. compLexity had the last statement here, and they take that lead back.
Yeah, it was a very close round there for compLexity, and you were pointing out the fact that one of the terrorists actually got by Ye, and that's what allowed the round to start to develop, because at that point, Ye gets picked off, and then we see the second entry come. Yes, Stanislaw gets the bomber down in that situation, but the B side has already gone the way of Renegades, and as we know, all you really need at the end of the day...
Was that 4-3 resolution?
Maybe.
It was close to that edge. He definitely ended up on that edge, but I don't know about it initially. It happened in an instant, and that's really the deciding factor of what could happen between these two teams.
Exactly.
In an instant.
Exactly. Well, it does look like Renegades are going to force up just a bit again here. Jakem, JKS, as well as Azza all have armor on their backs.
All right, pushing down into mid, catwalk side. They'll turn the corner. Defense right now against this catwalk is Shazam, who's actually passive to the fact. Stanislaw has his back. He's watching long, so it's really Shazam on this reactionary role. They'll be able to get down catwalk quite a ways. And a flashbang as well lets them get all the way to the elbow. More deegs coming in.
Oh my goodness.
Finds the next one. Now Stanis goes down to a 1 deeg as well, and it's a man advantage for the Renegades. Another bomb plant. Azza with the knife out. He stabs him once. If he had just done a little bit more damage with the CZ, he would have gotten the knife. Instead, it's Ye that cleans up those next 2 kills rapidly so. And wow. I mean, compLexity's frontline defense right now is up against the tide. Renegades so quick.
I gotta imagine, if I'm the compLexity side now, after rounds like that, and now I know I'm moving into gun rounds against the Renegade side, they're going to be hard-pressed here. They've really got to start coming out with these clean rounds. Look at their money, Dallas. Really, nobody over those past few rounds is set up in a good spot where they can say, yeah, I can buy back if we do lose the round. So right now for compLexity, not only do they need to pick up this first gun round, but they're going to need to pick it up very convincingly here. 4, maybe 5 members alive on the field is exactly what they need to avoid going onto an eco.
Long A presence. Smoke onto the corner. It doesn't look like compLexity are going to fight for this. They fall back. They do use a lot of utility, throwing flashbangs at the same time.
Yeah.
They use 3 flashes just to make sure that they recovered safely out of that long position. So now instead of having 3 players out long, they push 2 players onto catwalk.
Yeah, this is great re-aggression from compLexity. Realizing that long has been compromised, they aren't going to fight for it, so what do they do instead? Well, they're going to boost onto catwalk, take control of that area of the map, and take a little bit of a fight with Jakem towards lower B as well.
Oh, he just shouldered. He switched his weapon real quick, wasn't able to chamber that next round, and Stanislaw takes that. And that's going to be a question for Renegades. They have lower control. What do we do with this? Nice little angle right there from Def. He spots one terrorist.
Look at his
marches
spot.
way up, and now the bomb lands at his feet. He's happy about this one. But Azza is able to get in there, but he's quickly uprooted. 2v3, leaving JKS and Smooya right now, and there was a boost right now to get some extra info out there as well. Well played from compLexity to hold the defense.
Yeah, that's exactly what compLexity needed. Unfortunately, though, they only survived with 2 people in that situation, Dallas, so the money won't be getting too good for the compLexity side here. Renegades, with this round coming up, still ample opportunity for them to reset the compLexity economy. Looking at this round overall, though, I mean, compLexity, that was just straight up a great hold, some great patience from the players. I love that Def actually dropped that smoke into the corner and gets rewarded with another smoke behind him as well towards Goose that he's allowed to play around. And Shazam now finding 2 kills very early on, a 3rd as well, and Def taking down Jakem just like that. It's only JKS.
Oh, and he is so far away from the bomb right now. That's what happens when you come down that suicide alley. I mean, Shazam just laid waste to the first, gets the second, spots the bomb has been dropped there too, so he gets a little bit more confident. Sometimes it's those little things that adds fuel to the fire. He keeps re-peeking that angle, and he's rewarded time and time again for another kill. And that round just absolutely dominated. And Renegades, that was weapons. That didn't look like they had weapons.
No, honestly, the way those kills were popping up for Shazam, he took them one by one, almost that domino effect. After the first one, then the second one fell, then the third one fell. Renegades getting absolutely dismantled as soon as that round begins. And you can tell, as soon as Shazam takes down Smooya, he realizes that, oh, if anything, that would have been the op that was picking back at me, so he can now freely pick towards middle, and he's able to pick up a very easy 3K.
Yeah, I like this. The rebrand from compLexity, and then Shazam rebrand.
That's a personal
That's
rebrand.
A personal
That's
rebrand.
A personal rebrand.
It's fancy. I mean, what the boy bands in the 90s were?
Backstreet Boys,
yeah,
98
Degrees. It was 5
and
guys, right? You know, it was like Backstreet Boys and Sync. They're all 5 guys, right?
I think Westlife. What was it called? Westlife. I think they had 4 guys.
Oh yeah, that's a band everybody knows. I'm glad you enlightened everybody to another boy band nobody asked about. So, Ye pushes into the tunnels. Looks like he's got the first as well. In compLexity, this is a new move from them right now. It all started with that pistol round on the CT side. Maybe it's just a cultural aspect to how they play their CT side of Dust2. Aggressive.
Yeah. And this is exactly what compLexity need, that confidence, right, instilled in them. Taking these fights against the Renegade side, you're seeing that right now moving towards the latter part of this second half, compLexity are really having no problem with these duels. Ye being a good example of that, aggressing towards those B tunnels, able to find the first kill for his team. And now Renegades, well, they're being held up towards this middle area, not really finding any success, but they do have a good amount of map control.
Yeah, well, let's think about this. If compLexity are looking at the big picture, and they're saying, okay, when Renegades are given enough space on the map to start and execute, the Renegades have gotten the entry frags rather efficiently, even when they have deagles. Those deagles have been so pronounced for Renegades.
Very scary.
That's scary. So compLexity are going, okay, well, let's take the fight to them. Let's not give them any kind of advantage moving into the entries.
Okay, looking at this right now, it does look like Renegades are trying to consolidate their efforts towards Catwalk here and trying to make this final push towards the site. As we pass the 20-second mark on the clock, Shazam taking down Azza now is leaving only 3 members of the Renegade side to make this happen. It's going to be Ye, it's going to be Sick, and they're going to get compLexity their 13th round.
Now, I'm starting to sweat on my predictions. I'm sure as well anybody would be thinking that the Renegades were going to take Dust2, because that's what I would have thought, especially after the first map. This is Renegades' map pick, but so far they have landed flat on this second half. It's 6 rounds in a row for compLexity to start things off, and they took that lead and almost not even looking back at this point.
Yeah, that's another thing about Dust2. It's like everybody says, it's a T-sided map, but at the same time, if you're CT side, if you guys are hitting your shots, getting those early entry kills, it's very hard for any T-side to put an end to it. And right now, compLexity is doing just exactly that. A complete dominant performance on the second half, and it's looking phenomenal.
Well, look at this.
For
again,
the CT side.
Mid-aggression. Shazam holding a tight angle on Catwalk.
Oh,
Ye is behind the doors here, and he was supposed to be the one to refrag or maybe just protect Shazam, but instead, they lose that 2-for-1 exchange. So finally, the wrists have been slapped by compLexity.
Yeah.
They're going to have to reel back from this one. And look at their defense. They're shattered. 1A, 1B, one long, long road for Stanislaw top mid.
On this dirty lurk now. Getting taken down by Jakem. Some great awareness out of him now. We are going to see Renegades move towards the B bomb site, where we do have a final member waiting on that site, but Sick is going to fall, and we will see Renegades hit their 9th.
Now, that was defeat in detail for compLexity. Renegades, after they got that 2-for-1 yard sale in mid, it was a divide and conquer. So they just took it piece by piece. But look at this from Def.
Def can go for this.
1v2 right now.
He can go for this.
Yeah, this was what, 1v4?
Yeah.
1v3 at least, because I just watched him wipe that next kill out. So Def does have a chance. The bomb's ticking.
I think he's going to go for this.
He's got no info. There's only so many places they can hide on this B site.
He
Though.
can
This is
find
going to be the
one
scariest
more.
part. This rounding in this corner and looking towards back plat is going to be horrifying for him. Now he pushes in. There's the first kill, and that was the wounded player. JK has point-blank range, but there's
no
not
time,
enough
though.
time.
Yep.
Great work from Def, though. That really stings to Renegades. Again, we've seen this before in the first half. We saw compLexity win around with nobody surviving. Now the Renegades get a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, unfortunately, Renegades aren't in the situation here where they can give up any more rounds. compLexity getting closer and closer to that match point. So for Renegades, buying up into this round, yeah, they'll get those AKs on the field. Yeah, we'll probably see a Galil or two. Maybe Smooya even ends up with the Scout. But that's not the buy that they want moving into this round. That was a great job by Def. He's able to pick up 2 very early kills as that bomb goes down. Even has an opportunity, Dallas, to go for that 1v2 situation. But instead, he chooses to make it an expensive round for the Renegade side. Takes down 2 more members in that post plant. And now look at Renegade's buy. Really struggling here in terms of, well, almost everything. They've got the AKs. Yeah, that's great. But looking at it, Smooya with a Scout. Not really too much Molotov action going on as well. I imagine JKS might go for full utility and pick up a Galil, but really, compLexity in the more advantageous situation with the buy. And yeah, there's the Galil on
and
JKS.
The exit frags at the end of that one, they knew that their money was good. They've been perfect so far on the CT side. Just make it make Renegades trudge through the mud if they want to be able to continually win rounds, to win consecutive rounds, because it's going to be a really tough spot for them to be able to pull that off. Having what weapons that they have coming into this one, what utility they have coming in, a Scout, a Galil, a couple AKs in there as well against the double op from compLexity. See where those ops are. Yays is on the B window right now. He's backed up by Sick. That's going to be your rifler that's in there below him. And now Ye jumps to the scaffolding outside. So your direct point of contact is going to be Sick with the AUG against the tunnels.
We are going to see the first Renegades member move out towards middle here. That's Aza now making that presence known. Another re-smoke towards the tunnels as the lurkout smoke comes from the Renegade side. What can Sick do here, Dallas?
He's got a great angle. Oh, but he turns back, probably trying to play anti-flash to that. He may have seen a grenade come out, and it turns his head, but he coughs, and it's now a 3v3. Great shot from Stanislaw, preventing the Renegades from expanding and having a very comfortable bomb plant. Molotov off the wall, lands into the site towards the default position, or no, it's just a bit wide of that one.
Look at this flank coming in right now from Def as well here. Stanislaw gets taken down early by JKS. The bomb still hasn't been planted, so that's giving Def ample opportunity to move towards this B bomb site.
Yep, Shazam, very dangerous person peeking in through these doors right now. He needs to make some space. He fires off the shot. Now is there going to be enough movement for Def to be able to get into the site? It does appear so. Now they jigs up. They know where the compLexity players are. They need to fight them on the front end. It's only Def spraying in. He's got a boom! Unreal! As he chased down Smooya out there as well, just piercing the door, and it is a defuse, and compLexity absolutely remove Renegade's legs.
Are you serious right now? That was great. What an effort out of Def there in that situation. I do love the fact that he didn't preemptively go for the retake. He hung out towards that left side of the B tunnels and really let the first kill come towards him. And then after that, we do see Shazam get taken down at the doors. This is the first kill I'm talking about. After that, he throws a little bit of a flashbang, but really, off of this second kill here, and just continuing the spray. Beautiful,
unreal.
Beautiful.
Right through the door. See, that's the thing.
What a clutch.
I mean, Shazam as well. Shazam made space so that he could come through that tunnel.
Yeah.
If all eyes are fixed on their default position, somebody needs to go in there and shake it up a bit. So here's compLexity again on their aggression. They love this aggressive CT side right now, and it has really prevented Renegades from feeling comfort. Stanislaw at top mid right now. He could have all the information in the world. He's got a player behind him, but 2 in front of him. He'll get swapped out by that one that was down below him in mid, I believe. But a 1-for-1 trade, and the Renegades are probably going to be pretty happy about this one.
Looking at this setup, though, Renegade's not moving too quickly off of that frag. It will be Sick taking down Jakin. Nice shot out of him, but a little bit of aggression towards B tunnels. Maybe Ye picks this up.
Yeah.
He's going to do exactly that.
Oh, yeah. And now compLexity have map control to speak of as well. So usually the even trades are good for their T side, but when compLexity get the kills, the important ones, and gain intel on this
is
they now
huge.
own mid. They now own the B tunnels, and they fall off of these positions. They're actually going to consolidate right now, it appears, over towards the mid side, one player leaning towards A, but
it's not a bad idea.
They're looking to trade.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea out of compLexity. Ye got that initial pick towards B tunnels, creates his presence, lets it be known to Renegades that, hey, somebody's actually playing this pretty aggressively. Then he completely bails out. What's going on with Renegades? Well, they're not going to respond too quickly. They're going to have to walk themselves into B. And what's that allowing? That's allowing Ye now to come out towards the lower B and re-flank this, while Renegades think that the only man on the scene is actually probably around the tunnels. Or in the site.
Ye's here pretty quick in those tunnels. So now comes the first push. Flashbang in the site. You can see Ye pushing his way in. There's the first kill. Ye will just watch Az's body do the backflip. Leah's last man up. He gets the first, but it takes him a little bit too long to deal with Ye to start things off. And Renegades up against the ropes, man.
I really like the way Ye played that round, getting aggressive early on, going into that passive towards the mid round, then re-aggressing towards lower B and just essentially looping around. Of course, he isn't involved in that round at all, but at the same time, he's allowing his teammates to get more confidence as they're moving into the site, letting them know, hey, there's nobody towards the back of Plat, there's nobody playing by Big Box, nobody in the back of the site. All we really got to do is worry about Closet as well as that car area.
Okay, compLexity have 6 opportunities to just tap it in. Renegades going to have to play perfect from here on out, and we had talked about them winning the first half, and they did only just with 8-7, but compLexity's CT side is wicked strong. Stanislaw again towards top mid. This has been played out before, but compLexity right now, are they looking for it? Oh yeah, they're looking for it. Okay.
Yeah, finally gets punished there by Azza, who's waiting for that push. Now we're actually going to see Jacob punish Ye as well, so we're into a 3-on-4 right now. Renegades have long control. They're set up in a great position there, but in response, compLexity have taken both middle as well as B tunnels. So a lot of information on both sides as to what's going on.
Yeah, every sacrifice from compLexity yields some kind of fruit. So they're getting information this time, but that information is going to be stale. Sure, they had some lower tunnels control. They had some mid control after the fact. Stanislaw sacrificed his body trying to roll the dice on the same strategy again, but now that information's no good. You're in a 3v4 disadvantage for compLexity, but you only need to just get it done.
Yep.
One person on these entries picking up a 2-for-1 trade, and then suddenly it's an even ball game.
Renegades only have one flashbang here to push off Shazam, and Shazam's going to take advantage of that. Take down Smooya. They actually don't throw any flashbangs towards this site. This is going to be a hard hold for Renegades to actually break through.
Yeah, and they're all here. Oh, the barrel saving the life of Liaz, giving him a second breath and a second shot against Shazam, and they are starting to take this site. Sick 1v3 has a chance to absolutely lay waste to Renegades. The bomb will be planted behind this Molotov burning out. Liaz picks up that kill on the swing with the Molotov at his heels, and Renegades just squeak out. I mean, when they were winning rounds on this T side, it is just squeaking out.
If there was no barrel there, we would have seen a very different round. Shazam essentially just firing a perfect shot right into that barrel. That's going to allow Liaz to stay alive in that situation. And then Azza hits a great shot onto Def. I actually thought this Molotov was enough to push the T planting the bomb out in the site off, but it didn't look like it. And then the wide swing comes out, Sick gets taken down.
All right. First step in a long journey for the Renegades. They've got that first one, but compLexity are back down to pistols. How quickly the mighty have fallen. And they will be back down to pretty much vanilla. There's a couple USPs in there at Deagle and P250s. So not much to speak of. They initially gamble stack towards long A. Now that they see no action there, especially no utility thrown over the top, they decide to start to settle out.
Well, they have the one flash on the back of Stanislaw here. He's hanging around in CT, so if they need to retake B, it would be easy for Stanislaw to get there with that flashbang. If they want to fight towards long, Stanislaw can do that as well. Or even pop flash middle for them to push off Cat. It does look like they're going to favor maybe a Cat aggression here as the bomb does go down.
That's scary.
Stanislaw.
Really scary. Okay, Smooya and JKS get killed. Stanislaw in from behind. Gets flanked himself as he laid down. And Ye now disconnected from this. He actually took early damage through the long doors. But there's plenty of guns for him out front if he wants to tempt his fate on catwalk, but there's instead 3 terrorists still holding on to their own rifles.
All right, compLexity on match point. Are they going to opt to save? I do imagine they'll go for a little bit of pistol armor action as Def sitting on 3.5, Ye sitting on 3.4, even Sick at 4.1 and Shazam at 4K isn't looking like a strong buy can be had. So, yep, that's exactly what they're going to favor. A couple pistols on the field here. But you know what? Still ample opportunity for them to actually go ahead and, find themselves many a frag in this round, maybe even recover themselves an AK.
Yep. So, like, compLexity have actually relaxed themselves a little bit. It looked like it was rushed early on with their aggression on their CT side, and they turned their homework in early. Now they can lean back on that lead that they've earned themselves. So they go for this 2 eco rounds in a row for themselves, and they'll just make sure that we'll settle in. We'll have rifles when we want to have a good look at this. But now you've got a man advantage with Deagles. And grenades being thrown down into the tunnels in heavy force.
My goodness.
Mollies and smokes, and a dink was there. 99 damage to Azza. You've got a chance at winning this. You've got 2 AKs picked up as well.
Unfortunately, though, for the compLexity side, they're going to give up that A bomb site fairly easily from that point. Yeah, Azza is on 1 HP, but not really an opportunity for the retake to begin for compLexity just because of the way they're all positioned. They have that long player sitting in towards that pit area, Stanislav, who's made his way outside now, but he really can't take a long fight with only a deagle. He's got to hit a phenomenal 1 deagle to make this happen. And then you have the double up on Catwalk as well. A great flashbang from Smooya does end up getting the better of Stanislav as well.
Yeah, and that was a min-max right there for compLexity. So like you said, if they got a kill on the outright on that site, sure, they'll try to snap the trap shut and finish that retake. But now that they only expose the deagle out long A, it dies, they pull Ye and Sick back holding on to the AKs. Regardless, the next round would have had rifles anyways. But what this does is if Renegades are able to sustain their win streak right now, compLexity can actually think about, okay, if we lose this next round, we could go into a force buy and then have rifles right back into the fight again.
Yeah. compLexity have been on the brink of this victory for quite some time here. Dallas Renegades keeping themselves in this one, fighting back, clawing back. 3 rounds is what they're going to need to tie this one up to take it to OT. compLexity now on the back of this full buy, looking to end this one right here.
Smooya down in mid, quickly into suicide. Spotted one player jumping across. Liaz gets tagged or something. Does not quite sneak out of mid towards the doors quickly. Stanislav gets 3. Oh, suddenly Renegades are licking their wounds, and they've lost the bomb out there too. So now that whole A team that was responsible for Catwalk and everything else like that fall back and just set up camp. Now you've got to worry about the first and second kill. Jacob at least gets past the first one, but you still have a defender on that B site, so you know that they're going to round that corner, and you would be suspectful that you're going to get shot in the back. But it's interesting that they actually take the time to go clear out the B site.
Yeah, Sick just says, you know what? I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try and get towards my teammates. Now he's in T-spawn while Renegades spent all that time trying to clear out the B to try and get themselves one more frag. At this point in the round, as we pass the minute mark on the clock, no bomb. Not really much going on for them as they're just in this limbo towards middle. I mean, Renegades hard-pressed to get this round going for them.
Yeah, and it would be a shameful way to just see that end that way when Stanislav just gets ahead of the flashbangs and just mows you down through that double door. That'd be tough. So now they compLexity, after sitting on the bomb for some time, have actually set themselves up into some off angles here. Sick is actually at the car towards T-spawn. And yeah, he'll find the first. Looking for the next, though. This should be too much to ask for Smooya. He has to fight through the narrowest choke point, get the bomb, get all the way to the A site. If compLexity don't think about it. Yeah, there's no way.
Before this one ends, I'm just saying, called it. Told you compLexity could do it.
Yeah, but they did it. They really have. Smooya needs a 1v3. He needs them all to line up, and he just pierces the heart of all. Hello! Stanislav is standing on top of the blue bin. Had a long time to contemplate how they're going to end that map, but they do. compLexity managed to steal their opponent's map pick off just as the Renegades had done.